Wednesday, 20th May 2015. Paper highlights. First, let's look at the paper highlights from Daily Mirror. National Security Policy soon. President says framework based on advice of Armed Forces commanders. A new national security policy framework prepared on the advice of the commanders of the three armed forces to prevent another armed uprising in the country will be in place shortly, President Maithripala Sirisena said yesterday. Another paper highlight from Daily Mirror. Basil suffers minor stroke. UPFA MP Basil Rajapaksa, who is in remand custody at the Colombo National Hospital's Merchant Ward, was admitted to the hospital's cardiology unit on Monday after he was reported to have suffered a minor stroke, Western Provincial Minister Nimal Lancer said. Another paper highlight from Daily Mirror. Is it homicide or from natural causes? It is yet to be determined whether former Havelock rugby captain and Sri Lankan rugby player Wasim Tajuddin's cause of death was homicide or from natural causes, police spokesman Ruwan Gunasekara said yesterday. Another paper highlight from Daily Mirror. Sajin contracts breathing problems. United People's Freedom Alliance MP Sajin D. Was Gunawardena, who is in remand custody, has developed breathing difficulties after the prison authorities reportedly denied him the use of his inhaler, his colleagues informed Parliament yesterday. More highlights from Daily Mirror. Ravi says Goda hasn't the backbone to face him. Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake in an interview said yesterday that former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa didn't have the backbone to face him in a debate. Another paper highlight from Daily Mirror. Gotabaya to be questioned by FCID today. The former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa has been asked to come to the FCID office this morning. Now let's move to the highlights from Ceylon today. 3-member committee on Treasury bond scandal recommends full-scale probe. The 3-member committee appointed to investigate the central bank bond issue has called for a full-scale investigation duly authorized government authorities since they have detected an unusual bidding pattern practiced by Perpetual Treasuries, the firm that is owned by the son-in-law of the central bank governor Arjuna Mahendran, adding that its securing 50% of the accepted bids was also unusual. Let's move to another highlight from Ceylon today. President directs forces people to new focus. Development with reconciliation. President Maithripala Sirisena stressed on development and reconciliation in his address to the large gathering at the Ranavira Commemoration Parade 2015 held yesterday in Mathura. Another paper highlight from Ceylon today. Uproar in House over stalled debate on Mahendran. Parliament sittings came to an abrupt end yesterday when a tensed situation prevailed within the House, hindering scheduled proceedings from being addressed in the House. Opposition MPs demanded that the no-confidence motion against Central Bank Governor Mahendran had already been listed in the order book could be taken up for debate. More highlights from Ceylon today. BBS chairman resigns. Chairman of Bodubala Sena, Venerable Kirama Vimalajyothi Thera, has withdrawn from his post as well as from all activities of the organization. Another paper highlight from Ceylon today. Confidential Presidential Secretariat files sold for a song to Borella junk shop. Police said most of the documents that belong to the Presidential Secretariat found at an old newspaper and junk shop at Kota Road in Borella contained classified information that should never have left the Secretariat offices. Police spokesman ASP Ruwan Gunasekara said an official of the Presidential Secretariat who inspected the documents said that they were classified documents. The Presidential Secretariat has also requested the police to return the documents. Now let's move to the highlights from Daily News. Development reconciliation to get equal focus. President. Credit for victory against terrorism should extend to all politics, military leaders, security forces personnel, officials and public. Opponents spreading falsehood about national security. Another paper highlight from Daily News. Basil undergoes several tests. Colombo National Hospital Deputy Director Dr. Cyril D. Silva yesterday confirmed that former Economic Development Minister Basil Rajapaksa was taken to the cardiology unit for several tests on Monday. More highlights from Daily News. Deputy Speaker directs official to allow Sajin to come to Parliament. Deputy Speaker Chandima Veerakodi yesterday directed the officials to bring Galle District MP Sajin D. Was Gunawardena, who is now in remand custody, to Parliament immediately. Another highlight from Daily News. President's security breach. ASP Sergeant arrested. Police yesterday arrested an Assistant Superintendent of Police and a sergeant attached to the Presidential Security Division in connection with the incident at Angunukola Pelessa. The two, produced in court, were remanded by Angunukola Pelessa Magistrate Nayana Samaratunga until June 1st. Another highlight from Daily News. Committee investigating CB bond issue observes need for full-scale probe by proper government authority. The three-member committee that investigated into the controversial bond issue of the central bank has observed that a full-scale investigation by a proper government authority is warranted on the bidding pattern of perpetual treasuries and securing 50% of the accepted bids. The report of the committee to look into the bond issue on the central bank 2050. More highlights from Daily News. 3 UPFA MPs raised privilege matter in Parliament against bribery. UPFA MPs Mohan Priyadarshana de Silva, Ranjit de Soisa and Janaka Wakkambura, raising a privilege matter in Parliament yesterday, stated that the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery and corruption had informed them to appear before the Commission to record a statement for making the false complaint against the Director General of the Commission. We looked at the paper highlights from today's newspapers and we will bring you more highlights tomorrow.